The Evo 8 saga continues. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So last video, or at least I believe it was last video, we sent some logs over to Chad, a test log basically. He saw some things weren't reading, so he had me correct those. So I did that, but he also said that the idle was way too high. And the idle was high because the screw that you adjust the idle with, the biz screw or whatever it's called, that sits right here, if you can see that, it seized and you can't adjust it. So for that reason, I had to get a replacement throttle body. Luckily, I was able to find one locally, so I have that. I did actually order one online, but it never showed up. It got lost through FedEx, so there's that. I had to get a refund for that, but I have that one thankfully, so we're gonna go ahead and install that today. So of course, I have a gasket to go along with it. I have the seals that I ordered from STM, the throttle body seals. I don't know that I'm gonna replace those yet. And I also have the O-rings for the FIC injectors for those two that got kind of damaged. Again, don't know if I'll replace those either because those two seem to be holding up. Haven't had any issues with the car losing fuel pressure or leaking fuel. So for now, those may stay on. But the goal is to go ahead and do this so that way we can go ahead and get these logs sent over and start tuning this car. So we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. We're gonna go ahead and pull off this intercooler piping. That way we have access to the throttle body, and I have to remove that strut tower bar. I went ahead and removed those top screws already. And yeah, let's get to work. There's a screw that's seized up. All right, throttle body has been removed, so we're gonna swap everything from this one over onto this one. So this one already has a throttle position sensor on it, but because I don't know the condition of it, I'm just gonna go ahead and swap it out with this one here since that one's brand new. Also gonna swap over this idle air control valve along with this vacuum line as well. I need to actually get some caps as opposed to just looping the vacuum line on there because it'll probably look nicer, but that's the route we're gonna go for now. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and reuse the throttle body gasket. So this one is like a thin metal, so I'm guessing this is an OEM one versus this one I got from like AutoZone here. This one I'm sure would work. It's just thinner. This one hasn't been on the car very long, and I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe it down with some brake cleaner and it should be good to go. Alright, the throttle body is good to go back on the car. I did leave the screws for the throttle position sensor just a tad bit loose so that way I can adjust it. For those that don't know, you have to adjust it using Evo Scan, so I'll show you guys how to do that. But let's go ahead and throw this throttle body back on. Should only take 2 minutes. All right, so with the car on and Evo Scan hooked up and everything, you're gonna wanna go ahead and select Start Data Logger up here at the top. This will go green once it's connected. And at the very top, I have it at the very top on here, the throttle position sensor. This is the one that you're gonna have to adjust. So I moved it just a little bit. I only have two hands, so I can't do it and hold the camera at the same time. But it's at like 14 or 15, I can't really tell. And it needs to be at per chag, it needs to be at 13.3. So I'm gonna adjust it forward or backwards until it hits that, and then I'll secure it down and we should be good to go. And perfect, as you can see, it's set right where it needs to be, so 13.3%. So we should be good to go. All right, I have that set now, so now I'm gonna go ahead and actually fire up the car and adjust the idle, since now we have that screw that's not seized up. So we should be able to set it to where it needs to be. And then from there, we should be able to send some logs over, hopefully. Fingers crossed that we don't have any more issues. We can get this thing dialed in. Before it was idling right around 2K, and it's closer, much closer to 1,000 now, so it's pretty much perfect now. So it should be good now, and I should be okay to start logging. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a log, send it over to Chag, and hopefully I get good news back. All right, Chag sent me my first revision, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually, I have ECU flash opened up, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw the revision on the car, then get a 3 to 4 minute log of this current revision. I'm gonna send it back to Chag, and hopefully we get this squared away. A file open ROM, I believe it is. And turn the car on really quick. Okay. Perfect. So shut the key off. Start it back up. All right, now I'm gonna grab a 3 to 4 minute log, and I'm gonna shoot that back over to Chag. All right, it's a couple days later. I am unfortunately sick now, but it's time to go ahead and get a cruising log of the Evo 8. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna throw you guys on the GoPro, get the cruise dialed in, and after that, we should be good to start doing pulls. So I'm excited, even though I'm sick, but kind of wanna really do this. So let's go ahead and knock this out. All right, after several logs and revisions back and forth with Chag and me feeling like we weren't getting anywhere, the idle was still messed up, still pretty bad, I decided to get second opinion from a local tuner. Basically what I wanted was I wanted to rule out any other potential issues the car may have had, or if it was all tune related or whatever. At this point, everything on my end seemed okay, or at least I thought. So I took it to the local tuner for diag basically. I wanted him to take a look at everything, make sure everything's okay. Check compression on the motor. Compression was all pretty good. It was like around 160. Went ahead, swapped out the plugs because the plugs that were in here weren't ideal. But what we found, I guess that was basically throwing everything off, was that the front O2 sensor wasn't reading. We swapped out a couple sensors, narrowed it down to a wiring issue. Looked at the wires right underneath the engine base, or right up underneath the manifold there. It goes from there up to the top of the valve cover. Those all seemed good. There were like no frayed lines or anything like that. So next we went ahead, got in the car, pulled out the glove box so we had access to the ECU. Basically what we found was this wire here was to the O2 sensor pinout on the ECU or on the wiring harness, and that wire ran all the way to that AM gauge over there that's sitting on top of the steering wheel. So basically the O2 sensor was pulling information or pulling voltage from that gauge, and it was throwing everything off. So the front O2 or the ECU didn't know how much fuel to put in or take out or whatever. So it was all over the place. And that was basically what was causing my issue as far as idle goes. It was nice because the local guy, he knew immediately what it was, or had an idea of what it was when he saw the voltage or when he saw the percentages in Evo Scan that the O2 feedback was putting out. So that was really cool. I can tell he's knowledgeable about, you know, Evos or just cars in general. And for that reason, I've decided to actually forego tuning with Chag this time. And I'm gonna go ahead and have him tune the Evo 8. So although it wasn't necessarily Chag's fault as far as my car and the issues we were having, it's nice that the local guy, the new guy who I'm gonna have tune the car, has a good understanding of just Evos in general or cars in general, and knew exactly just based off the voltage that was being shown. So we're putting together a date as far as when we're gonna tune the car. It's probably gonna be next week. And he did say I can bring my camera if I want and I can record the whole thing. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be a wrap for today. I'm still sick, as you can hear probably, but I want this car to run right, and hopefully it will here soon. Cruise is fine, AFRs are perfect, but yeah, actually let me go ahead and start it up so that way you guys can hear it idle and hear how it is now versus how it was before. So it sounds good, it doesn't die anymore, which is pretty awesome, but yeah, I'm happy, and I can't wait to get this car fully dialed in. It's unfortunate that we couldn't get the car dialed in or tuned fully yet, but it will be soon. So if you want to see this car get tuned, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you have notifications turned on. That way you get the update when the new video drops. If you have any guesses as far as how much power this thing is going to make based off of the mods that it has, let me know what you think it's going to make. I don't know what it's going to make. I know what I want it to make, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for checking out the video again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.